Hello and welcome. My name is Hadiza Mohammed, and I'm the Impact Innovation Lead at Gumi. In my work, I focus on a single critical question. How do we make sure that our passion and our resources lead to real, sustainable change? It's a question that forces us to look beyond the obvious. And it often starts by learning to pause, even when our every instinct is telling us to act. To show you what I mean, I want you to imagine a scenario.
Imagine it's 2 a.m. You stumble out of bed for a glass of water and you freeze at the kitchen doorway. Your 13-year-old daughter is calmly making a chicken sandwich for Superman, Batman, Thanos, and Wonder Woman. Capes, gauntlet, lasso. The whole cinematic universe is right there in your kitchen.
How would you react? Now, research and human nature suggest about 94% of us would gasp and let out a shout of, "What on earth is going on?" We can call this Group A. They have a solution space energy. They're reactionary, quick, and deeply uncomfortable with the problem. I mean, it's their child. Then you have Group C, about 1% of people, who would just pass out. They just can't deal with the problem right now. Not today. But there's another group, a small 4%. Group B. These are the people who would pause, clock their breathing, and start to collect data before saying a single word. That small group, and the way they think, is what we're talking about today. That pause, that willingness to sit in the discomfort without drawing attention to yourself just yet. That is the problem space. It's the conscious and covert exploration of clarity. See, the majority of humans, and by extension our organizations, are reactionary by nature. We want to solve the problem, and we want to solve it now. But that urgency is often our curse. The solution space is where our instincts, our energy, and our budgets naturally flow. It's addictive because it promises momentum and visibility. Design a program, launch a product, publish a success metric. We love the solution space because it feels like progress. But guess what? Motion isn't progress, it's an illusion of it. The problem space requires a complete shift in posture, from fixing to understanding. In the solution space, the driving question is, what can we do about this? But in the problem space, the question is, what exactly is going on here and why? This difference is foundational. A premature solution, no matter how sophisticated, might hit the wrong target entirely. Now, this temptation to jump to action spikes when passion, emotions, and public pressure run high. This describes the world of philanthropy perfectly. High stakes, moral urgency, and a compulsion to demonstrate results make the sector especially prone to premature solutioning. A philanthropist hears about children dropping out of school and immediately funds scholarships. An NGO sees communities suffering after floods and rushes to provide new housing. These are heartfelt, urgent, and well-intentioned actions, but they are solution space reactions. What gets overlooked? In education, the dropout rate may not be about tuition at all, but about teens needing to work to support their families. In disaster relief, new clothing may never be worn if it doesn't fit cultural or religious values. Take, for example, the many well-funded programs to distribute laptops to rural schools across Africa. In so many cases, those devices ended up locked in cupboards. The philanthropic intent was pure, but the framing was flawed. The real issue wasn't the absence of laptops. It was the absence of infrastructure and teacher capacity. In this way, philanthropy's greatest strength, its passion and generosity, also becomes its greatest weakness. The danger of passion-driven philanthropy is that it can move faster than clarity, and the cost of this is predictable: a never-ending cycle of donations for the same cause in the same place. We see 4 major costs repeating across the sector. I detail all of these costs and lay out the entire practical framework for what this looks like in practice in the full article. If you want to dive deeper and get the tools to cure this philanthropic myopia, I strongly encourage you to read the rest of the piece on Gumi Lumienary. The link is right there in the description below. But before you click away, let's go back to where we started. Your kitchen at 2 a.m. The problem space line of action is simply to scan the scene first. Is Thanos wearing the Infinity Gauntlet? Is Wonder Woman holding the lasso of truth? You might even peek outside for a Batmobile, and then pinch yourself to see if you're sleepwalking. No one is denying that a response is needed. Only that understanding must precede effectiveness. So, dear donor, before the next RFP is written, before the next grant call is announced, before another donation is pledged, I urge you to pause. Ask yourself and your team, do we truly understand this problem, or are we just reacting to its most visible symptoms? After you've had a chance to read the article, if you're ready to explore how your organization can embrace the problem space to make sure your next dollar funds real, systemic change, then I invite you to book a free chat with me. Let's work together to make sure your generosity achieves the lasting impact it truly deserves. Thank you for watching.